What is up, everybody? It's JT Best Ball here. So, I'm going to play this little intro for you guys. You can tell me what you think of it. I actually made two of them. One of them is kind of just a short little thing. I'm going to kind of switch it up from time to time, but I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think. Is it stupid? Is it kind of funny? Here it goes for you. Don't just draft random players. We build very well thought out teams and give them catchy names. Some will swear it has to be a 0 RB, while others will scream at you hero. Some say you have to have 5 wide receivers in the first 7 rounds. Arenas is out here building indestructible triple elite QB teams. We draft hundreds and hundreds of them all summer long. But in the end, we are all going to lose anyways. I don't know. It's nothing special. I know. It's kind of, might be a little too cheesy. We might have to get rid of it. I didn't want to do the same thing that everybody else is doing with the little, cut up of NFL players. One, I can't figure out how to do it without YouTube giving me a copyright warning. And if you've noticed my draft styles, I just like to be different. So I don't know. You guys tell me what you think in the comments section. I just tried to be funny with it. We're all going to lose anyways. I say that all the time. So I figured it was a good little thing to do. I have another one too. We'll kind of flip back and forth to them. The other one's kind of sweet and simple. Here goes the other one for you. We don't just draft random players. We build very well thought out. Sorry about that. That's the wrong one. Let's try that again.
Yo, what up? It's the Snoop Deal Double G. My man JT Best Ball going live. Smash that like and sub if you aren't already. Now let's get in here and draft some fire teams.
Again, just trying to be silly with them. Just trying to be different. I don't know. Some days we might not even use them. We'll definitely not do both of them on the same day. Normally, the one with the little draft board where I'm kind of talking over it, that one took me a minute to do. You like the second one better, Mark? All right. I'll keep that in mind. I don't know. The first one, though, just kind of took me a while to do, and I thought it was kind of funny. And I got all our favorite little nicknames for rosters and stuff in there, but maybe we'll just go with the old Snoopy one. Anyways, we're going to try to do some eliminators tonight. At least first. I don't know if y'all guys want to hop in some Superflexes or something with me. After that, we can. We'll do 20 seconds. Whenever I'm by myself on stream, 20 seconds seem to be okay. Didn't count it down. Sorry, I forgot. Probably not many people in here right now. Anyways, 4 spots left, though. If you're coming in and you want to hop in an eliminator, we are in a 20-second eliminator waiting on 4 spots to fill. Don't have any players to talk about today. I drafted an eliminator earlier today, and I was in the 1 hole. I've been getting lucky the last couple of days with the eliminators. I think I've had like 2 or 3 1 holes in the last 2 or 3 days. We keep taking chase. I've been in general drafting more of those, I think, than the Superflex. I like the Superflex. That's kind of the 2 drafts I've been drafting the most of. Last 2 nights we tried to get us into some sprints, but as y'all know, they didn't fill. I forget who it was, but somebody was telling me that they might end up running a promo like they did with the marathon for the sprint, since it's having a hard time filling. So I think I'm going to chill for a little bit because I didn't really want to do a whole bunch of them anyways. I just wanted to, have a few bullets in there. So we will probably wait and see if they don't give us a little promo here. No need to rush. We got all summer. It's barely June. I did find out some pretty good news as far as streaming and drafting goes. My wife and the girls are going on a girls trip right around the end of July, the beginning of August, which is right around the heart of training camp and best ball season. So JT will kind of have the house to himself for a week. We're going to have all kind of draft fun that week. Still waiting on one more. If you want to hop in. And it just filled. And we have the 4 spot. I do not recognize any names. If you missed it last night, we earned our black badge. We are no longer a badgeless underdog rookie. We are officially a badge bro, as they say. In the Eliminator, I really like going Bijan. So maybe I get lucky and the 3-hole takes Jefferson. Do you guys take out of Bijan, Gibbs, and Jefferson? Who's your third click? I kind of find myself going Bijan, Gibbs, JJ. In most formats, but especially the Eliminator. I don't know. I mean, I probably should take more JJ, but it's like I really want in that, say, let's call it 2 to 4 range. I really want a lot of Bijan and I really want a lot of Gibbs. McCaffrey's starting to push his way up there too. You know what though? I just said that, but we have been taking a whole lot of Bijan and we got a good amount of Gibbs this year, and I don't have much JJ. We're going to do a JJ Eliminator team. It does kind of scare me a little bit that we're not even to the real training camp yet, and you're already hearing like rumors of Minnesota maybe being interested in bringing Cousins back. That doesn't speak too highly for their rookie, or well, I call him a rookie quarterback. Essentially, he's a rookie. I mean, he got a little bit of camp and preseason work last year and then was on the shelf all year. But JJ's safe. I mean, y'all know how I feel about Sam Darnold, and JJ was just fine with him. That would be kind of crazy if Minnesota went and brought Cousins back. It's coming around to us. We started with JJ. They say you have to get running backs early in the Eliminator. Most of the time I do. We'll see what the board throws us here. When is JJ's bye? Week 6. I'm going to take the ADP value, though. And we're going to Build it like a slappy. JJ in London. Couldn't pass up the value. I'm not going to reach down. It's a tiny bit, but still a reach for Chase Brown just to grab a running back when the room wants to give me London at 21. Eliminator or not, I'm going to take him. Receiver points count 2. And I'm doing a lot of these eliminators, so, I'm just trying to switch it up. I have different builds. I have some teams that are super strong running back teams. What's up, Hardman? We're in an eliminator. If you guys want to hang around, we can do a Superflex or whatever you guys want next. But I want to make sure I get a lot of these eliminators in. And it's really hard for me to find time to draft during the day. I'm busy with the kids and all other kind of stuff normally. I do a few slow drafts here and there too, just to make sure I get in what I want to get in. I don't really want to go Tyreek, and I don't really want to go Kyron. We're going to try out some later round running backs in the eliminator and see how it looks. Give me JJ, Drake London, and Lamar. Let's go. But, thanks, man. I just, I don't know, I'll be honest. One, I spent about a week trying to figure out how to do highlights and stuff of players, and I don't know, it was giving me a headache every time I would test it on YouTube, like with just a private stream or whatever. YouTube would still give me like a copyright warning. So I guess there's some trick to it I'm missing. And then I was like, you know what? I know I'm a weird dude. I mean, I draft weird. I don't really use like a lot of the, AIs and stuff like that. I kind of do my own thing. I call it vibes based, pick the players I like. I'm not afraid to have high percentages. So I figured let's get different with the intros. I like to mix things up. Some days I might do the Snoop one. Some days I might do the other one. Some days we'll just get on and start talking if there's a hot topic, or if I'm really wanting to, spend 5 minutes talking about a particular player or something. Probably won't waste time on the intro then. You know what, Mark? I keep telling myself I'm going to purposely do that one time to see how it comes out. I have not purposely did it yet, but I don't remember if it was on stream or not. I built one the other day, though, that it was like a lot of my players did end up having late bye weeks. It just kind of worked out that way. I'll be honest, like my thinking with this year's and last year Eliminator was a little different. The way it was like 6 of 12 and 5 of 8 and all that. I honestly built it last year real similar to how I would just play a normal style tournament, except I kind of prioritized maybe, like especially in the later rounds, I would prioritize like a Slayton or Michael Wilson from Arizona over maybe more of just kind of a boom bust Dontavian Wicks type guy. And to some extent, I'm still doing that this year. But this year, like, just the way it's set up, I haven't really been worrying about stacks or anything. I'm going back to my DFS days, playing. I didn't play much head-to-head. I was more of a tournament player. But I would play some cash games here or there, or some head-to-heads here and there. And there was one little group I was in for a while that was just like 5 or 6 players, so it's almost like a head-to-head or whatever. But I really hope Hampton falls here. He would be not falls, but stays there for me. He would be a really nice click. The guy it's on has 2 running backs, so he may be tempted to go Tet or something. Perfect. We need a running back. I like Omari and Hampton. I think Jim Harbaugh having wet dreams at night thinking about Omari and Hampton as his lead running back. It's just, I mean, you couldn't get a better guy for that system and that coach. They want to just pound it right up the middle. They use a lot of duo and double team type blocks and stuff. And he's got juice, but he's strong too. When you watch his tape, it just bounces off tacklers sometimes. That's a nice little start, I think. J.J., London, Lamar, Hampton as our first running back. We're okay to wait a little bit on running back, but in the Eliminator, we don't want to wait too far. Yeah, we got it last night. What's up, Doc? We earned a badge on stream last night. The first draft, I was not a badge, and then we started another one up, and I was like, hey, something looks different. Glad you like the intros, by the way, man. Just trying to do something a little different. I'm going to go get one of my other favorite running backs in this range. And see, like, the way this team is going, and again, you know, I guess they say that's why you shouldn't gamble with money that you need and all that good stuff, because I'm definitely not one of those guys that, like, worry about my percentages. Like, I'm willing to live and die by my takes. Kenneth Walker is a guy that I'm really high on this year. It's not just, you know, oh, I think he's good. Like, I do work, too. You know, I talked about it on one of my streams. I actually went back, like, when Ken Walker's case, I watched a lot of 2023 tape. Because Waldron, who used to be the OC there, he's kind of from that, like, Shanahan, Kubiak system, you know, with the zone outside scheme and stuff. And I really liked what I saw. What I saw when you watch a lot of his 2023 tape is you saw some really big runs up the middle, because you could tell if it, not just like a highlight reel, but if you watch like a highlights of like this game or that game, you could see how as the game went on, Walker was so quick getting to that edge that the defense really started, you know, over pursuing, trying to get to that edge. And then that's when those big cutbacks right up the middle open up. And I'm not afraid to have a lot of them. I don't know what my percentage is on him, but my guess would be it's pretty nice. Because in the area that he goes, he's definitely a click I make a lot. Appreciate you guys stopping in. Hit the like if you would, but I know most of y'all already probably did. See, what's today? Tuesday? Yeah, Eliminator Tuesday. Thursday, we're going to try to stream, but it's going to be a late night stream. I'm actually going to be over on Candyman's channel. I think it's called the Fantasy Football Garage. Hartman, correct me if I'm wrong. I know you were on there the other day. But he goes live at 8:30 on Thursday. If you guys want to see me and Candyman draft a team together, come on over there to his channel. But I'm still going to do something on my stream when we're done. I'll probably just do one because I'm assuming it'll be kind of late. Thank you, Hartman. That's what I thought it was. Fantasy Football Garage. Found out we have a lot of the same stomping ground. I was talking to him on his stream one night, you know, just in the chat. Oh, hold on. We are on the clock. What are my bye weeks at running back? 8, 12. Let's go ahead and get a Pollard. Kind of mesh is nice. I like Pollard. We caught up at running back. We took the 2 receivers first. Then we went Lamar. Then we mixed it up with running backs of Hampton, Walker, and Pollard, all with different bye weeks. That's a nice little 3 running back room so far, with 2 stud receivers and an elite quarterback. I like the way this one's going so far. But he grew up in Lake Travis, which is a part of Austin here where I live. And now he lives out in Houston, which is where I grew up. And now I live out here in Austin. So it'll be fun. 2 Texas boys with some of the same stomping grounds. Going to get together and do a draft Thursday. back on the clock again. Looks like the room wants us to take receiver. We already got a quarterback, so we're not really worried about that right now. And let's go. Probably going to go Shakir here. He's Josh Allen's favorite target. Hopefully he can get in the end zone a little more this year. We're mixing it up nice. 5, 6, 7 on the bye weeks for the receiver. 8, 10, 12 for the running backs. Lamar has 7. I don't really try to worry too much about my bye weeks cross position. You know, like I'm okay if I end up having some receivers and running backs on the same bye weeks, as long as, you know, it's like a running back's bye week 8 and a receiver's bye week 8. It's not a big deal. I do try my best to get players that I like, but also balancing out not having too many overlapping buys within a position group, though. Must be talking about Hampton. Calfzilla. Let's take a look at the other teams, see what they got going on. Anything crazy for an eliminator? Everything looks pretty smooth up top. The one hole started 4 straight receivers, including, he has the Joe Burrow double stack in an eliminator. How do you guys feel about that? I'm not sure I would like that. I mean, I guess if they're hot right away. Mark, I know we were just talking earlier today about, you said you saw some stats about how since he always starts out slow. They started out slow last year, that's for sure. He did grab 2 running backs the last 2 picks at least. I really try to stay away from double stacks in the eliminator unless, you know, if it's like, I think I have some team. Matter of fact, last night I drafted a team that had Lamar, and it was Lamar and Bateman and Andrews. Those 2 pass catchers go late enough in their different positions that I'm okay doing something like that. I don't know in the eliminator if I want a Joe Burrow double, though. Oh, excuse me. It's been a long day. Let's see. Just a couple of the people in front of me have quarterbacks. We could do that and set that up. Don't really like any of the tight ends that's there. I'm going to go ahead and grab Fields. I did that because generally in the eliminator, I do like to go 3 QBs. Sometimes even with an elite QB, I'll get 3, but I won't take my second this early. But I like Fields a lot too. I think between those 2, I can probably stick with 2 QBs and get plenty enough production. We have 3 running backs. I don't like any of those guys that's on the board right now. 13. We could see if Andrews comes back, but he probably won't. Since we have Lamar, we're going to go ahead and reach a little bit for Andrews. Needed a tight end anyways. I'm okay taking some later receivers because with JJ in London, we should have It's pretty good firepower at the top of our receiver room. Hey, what's up, Tyler? Thanks for stopping in. If you guys haven't caught any of Cowboy and who is it, PPR and BBG, they started that new channel with the three of them, Trifle Towers. You three are pretty good entertainment to watch, man, when y'all are together. I know I stream a lot at nights, and when I'm not streaming, you guys are my favorite thing to see if it's on. Definitely good entertainment. If you haven't checked that out, you should check it out. Thanks, my man. Let's see here. We like the way it's going so far. This is an eliminator. We went ahead and put Fields with Lamar. Got Hampton, Walker, and Pollard at the running back position so far. JJ, Drake, and Shakir. We took Andrews with our last pick just to pair him with Lamar. Give us a little correlation. That's what I was talking about earlier. I don't go out of my way for a stack, but it's still nice, right? We want our teams to go far. The further we go into these tournaments, even in the head-to-head, you're going to start matching up against some other really good teams. Obviously, they've been winning head-to-head for however many weeks you're at. So it's still going to be nice to have a little bit of correlation and some firepower to put you over the top. Let's see here. What do we want to do with this pick? We might get back in the running back room. Maybe if Charbonnet stays. We could do what we did last night. Last night we ended up putting Bateman and Andrews with Lamar. That's what I was just talking about. They're late enough. Pick 110, pick 117. I'm okay double stacking it at that price. With Lamar, when he goes nuts, he can go nuts. Not really a tight end I like. I believe with this particular team, we probably want to stay at 2 QBs. If Bateman's there, we may grab him. I don't want one of those tight ends. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and put Bateman. I don't believe. We do have Shakir with the week 7 bye, so we'll have to watch our week 7s. We'll probably do our best to not draft any more players unless it's a running back. We could have a running back with a week 7 bye, but we already have all the Ravens and Shakir with week 7 byes. It's one reason, if I'm going to do 2 QBs, I really like it to be an elite QB and then somebody like a Fields who should have a pretty safe floor with his rushing alone. He's always capable of course, just having really bad games, but I think with this next pick, I can hold off a little bit longer on running back. When it comes back to me, there's a few guys that I like. Kind of hoping Burden stays. He's got an early bye week, so even if he's a little slow in camp with whatever the soft tissue stuff is, he's a first round talent. I saw on always sunny vibes. Do you feel like doing fast drafts you can build better teams? You know what? For me, I guess if you're talking about, are you talking about like the real slow drafts where it's like 8 hours, or are you talking about just 20 seconds versus 30 seconds? If you're talking about the real slow drafts, like slow, what I have found with slow drafts is about 6 or 7 of them, maybe 10 at the most at once. is all I really want going on, and then I really try to have it like mixed contest, you know? Like right now I think I have 4 or 5 Superflex that are slow going on, and I have about 4 or 5, maybe 3 or 4 Eliminators that are slow going on. I find if I keep my slow drafts to a real small number like that in a couple different contests, I'm not on the clock on them so much where I get frustrated in a way, or just start like just clicking people to get done with it and get off the clock. I do tend to then kind of take my time and go back over the team a little bit, try to refresh myself what I was doing with it. I used to, a couple years ago when I first started drafting a lot 2 years ago, I tried having 20 or more slow drafts going at once, and yeah, I found that I didn't really think I was building that well with most of them. I was just trying to get off of the clock because I'd wake up and I'd have like a bunch of teams that I was on the clock for at the same time. Let's see here. If we don't find something better, we're going to go Fergie with this pick. I think their offense will be pretty good. I don't really want to do that yet. It's kind of hoping Ray Davis would have stuck around, but I guess somebody grabbed him already. Oh yeah, they grabbed him, I guess, last time. But yeah, so with slow drafts, that's kind of what I do now is I keep it to a small number of them, and then when those 8, 9, however many I have going, whenever those run out and are finished, then I'll spend about 2 or 3 days loading up some more of them. Works for me. Let's go. I think I'm going to go Garindo here. I want to grab me another running back. He showed me that he could be pretty good in that system when healthy. We don't know if McCaffrey's going to be healthy all year. He's healthy now. Garindo could end up having some usable weeks, though, even with CMC healthy, if they take it a little easy on CMC. You're just talking to 20 seconds to 30 seconds. I definitely feel like all of the really sharp people are in the 20-second rooms. It's harder to fill the 30-second room, so at least on stream, I haven't really done 30 seconds in a while. I don't know. I'm getting used to it now. I'm not going to lie. Coming over from DraftKings, last year, only thing I did on Underdog, I did only slow drafts. I would have all my slow drafts going from Underdog. I just did Eliminators. I did like 40 or 50 Eliminators total last year, and I think like 14 or 15 Superflex. And they were all slow drafts, so I never experienced the 20-second clock. All my live drafting was done on DraftKings last year. So when I first started drafting on Underdog this year, it didn't take long, but it took me a few days to kind of get used to a 20-second clock. There was maybe 2 or 3 picks where kind of my time ran out on me. Most of the time it happened when I was on stream and doing a 20-second, and I'd be talking and not realize I was on the clock already. So I guess it's a give or take. I think the rooms are easier in a 30 seconds is what it seems like to me so far. But I'm also a very just competitive person by nature, so I feel like sometimes when I'm in a room with other drafters that I know or that I think of as good drafters, it's almost like it kind of brings out your A game and makes you really kind of buckle down and really think it out a little more. I don't know. That's what it seems like to me sometimes, at least. Let's go. If I don't see a receiver I like better, we'll just go ahead and take Shipley. He's our favorite click back here. None of those receivers I'm just dying to have. We'll take Shipley there. 2-5-5-2. Let's look what we got. Lamar and Fields, Hampton, Walker, Pollard, Garindo, and Shipley at running back. Running back room worked out beautifully. Not one bye week overlaps. JJ, Drake London, Shakir, Bateman, Burden at receiver. A little bit of a bye week issue there. We need to tack on a couple more receivers. We got 2 5s, 2 7s. Andrews and Ferguson at tight end. We're only in round 15 though. I may end up just staying with these 5 running backs. I have 3 guys that are starters for their team, or I think will be starters for their team for sure. And then we have Garindo and Shipley. And the way that they all have different bye weeks, we're staying at 2 QBs. I have some bye week issues in my receiver room, so I think it might be best to use the extra firepower for some extra receivers for this team. I think we're going to grab Michael Wilson here. I like taking Wilson and Slayton a lot in the Eliminators, just because I feel like you know what you're going to get. They may give you some very usable weeks with 10 or 12 points. They might not never really give you any super big spike weeks, but, you know, we got JJ and London to do that. Bateman can do that. Shakir could do that. Last year on Underdog, again, I didn't play a whole lot, but my Eliminator, the Superflex, I didn't do that well at. I had only like 14 or 15 teams, though, and I think I'd have to look at it again, but only 2 of them advanced. I showed one of them on stream when the Superflex first came out because it was crazy. It was like not that good of a quarterback room at all. But it won its pod with that weak quarterback room. But the quarterbacks were Kirk Cousins and who else was it? Kirk Cousins and Fields. And so by the time we got to week 15, there was one other quarterback too, but it was Watson, who didn't even play last year. So it was essentially a 2 quarterback team. And by the time we got to week 15, even though I won my pod, neither Fields or Cousins played in week 15. So it didn't do good at all. And then another one, I had 2 of the Superflex that made it out, but both of them got kicked out in week 15. I had an Eliminator team that made it a little far. I want to say like week 13 or 14, somewhere right in there is where it got kicked out. Maybe 12, at least 12 to 14, somewhere in that range. That was the Eliminator team that went the furthest. Over on DraftKings, where I played the most, I made my money back pretty much. Last year I didn't have a great year. 2 years ago I made a finals in the Millie on DK. Last year I didn't have any teams make the finals. I think I had 3 or 4 teams. I wish that's the one thing that sucks about DraftKings is you can't really easily you can't go back and look at like last year's stuff. But I know I had 3, possibly 4 teams in the big tournament that made the semifinals. And I had like some other teams that made it to the semifinals in those little. Last year it was an $8 tournament. That was kind of like the $10 tournament this year is. But we didn't have our best year last year. This year hopefully we'll have a better year. I like Wicks. Let's get him. Why not? I know we don't necessarily need the week 17 correlation, but hey, if we are in week 17 with this team, we're winning a lot of money, and now we have some correlation. 2 more picks left. I think we are going to go ahead and take an 8th receiver. 10 and 11. Let's see. What's my tight ends? Ferguson is a 10. If he's there, we're going to take Johnson with this pick. To round out our tight end room and give us 3 tight ends, all with different bye weeks. Or we could go Schultz too. He has a week 6 bye week. He'd work. I'm not a huge fan of Schultz, but maybe in a new offense he'll be a little better than he was last year. There's not a ton of competition for his job. You know what? We take a whole lot of Jonnu. I mean, not Jonnu. We take a whole lot of Jawan. Let's go ahead and grab Schultz this time. Mix it up a little bit. When we come back, we'll take receiver. See what the bottom of the board does. This one's about over. If any of you guys want to draft, let me know what y'all want to draft. We'll hop in it. But that's how I did last year. Not that great. I won some pretty good money the year before that, though. Last year, the obvious killed me. I faded some of the running backs more than I should. I'm always going to fade, especially when I played on DraftKings. I'm always going to fade Derrick Henry. I mean, yes, he killed me, but he doesn't catch passes. I didn't totally fade, but I had a very low percentage of Barkley last year. I was one of those that talked myself into the Jalen Hurts is going to steal all his touchdowns. I talk about how I'm willing to live or die with my takes. A guy up until August that I was drafting real heavy was good old Kamani Vidal. I just didn't think Gus Edwards would be that great without Lamar helping open up holes, which I was correct about that. I did not think that Dobbins could stay healthy all year. I was wrong about that. And so Mr. Vidal never got on the field. They never really even gave him a chance. He was really cheap up until like the end of July, kind of right about the start of August. When he started moving up the board more on DraftKings, that's when I slowed down on him. But still, I had a bunch of teams with him. What's up, my man? Good to see you in here. If you guys haven't, hit the like button. It does help us out a lot. Since we got some new faces in here today, I'll go ahead and show this little banner. It's a couple weeks away, but I'm just trying to get the word out there. June 20th, I'm going to do something big for you guys. We're going to start at about 6 o'clock or so Central Time. And we're going to stream for probably 6 hours, maybe a little more. I'm going to try to line it up where I could get like basically a guest on every hour. It's going to be a little BBM marathon with guests every hour, doing another BBM with a new guest. I'm going to be out of town that next week, so I figured it'd be a fun little way to... I better make my pick, though, real quick here. We'll take good old Mike Williams if I don't see anything else last second. No, you know who I want? I don't got enough time. Oh, well, we'll take Williams. That's why I start him. He might be good for some early season, at least, until his back breaks down on him. We'll go over the team one more time. It ended up being a 2-5-8-3. Lamar and Fields at quarterback. We kept it at 2. Hampton, Walker, Pollard, Garindo, Shipley, J.J. London, Shakir, Bateman, Burden, Wilson, Wicks, Mike Williams, Mark Andrews, Ferguson, and Dalton Schultz are our tight end room. That one's in the books. But anyways, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna be out of town that next week. I don't know how often I'm gonna be able to stream the week that I'm gone. We are gonna be staying in an Airbnb and they have Wi-Fi, so hopefully it's decent. I'm gonna take the bare necessities and try to get on a couple nights because I want to draft anyways. I don't want to go a whole week without drafting. We'll see how it works out, but that'll be a lot of fun though. It's a Friday night. We're gonna have a long stream, BBM marathon stream. Any of you guys want to draft? Talk to me in the chat. Let me know what you want to draft. I don't know. I know everyone loves Superflex. If y'all want to do a Superflex and somebody wants to draft it with me, I will. If not, I'm probably going to do another Eliminator just because I want to get a lot more Eliminators in. I'll give it a second. Look at that. I guess we're going to go with the 20-second Eliminator in case anyone wants in it. We'll count it down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Entering a 20-second Eliminator. Turn my fan on real quick because it's getting kind of hot in here. One spot left if anybody wants to sneak in real quick before it fills up. Waiting on one for a 20-second Eliminator. Oh, here, I know what we can do. Let's get a little background music going for this one. I know a lot of people use the feed in the ducks. I want to find a new one, but I haven't really had time to sit down and play with that more. I've been working on those intros for the last few days, trying to get them ready. Oh, our draft field. Let's see if we see any names in here. We have the 12 hole in this one. We haven't had a 12 hole in a while in an Eliminator. I said I don't get many drafts in normally during the day, just with what's all going on. I was actually up at my daughters do this indoor soccer thing during the summer, and I had about an hour or so to kill while I was up there waiting on them to finish, and I hopped in an Eliminator on my phone, and me and Chad Candles were in the same room. It was a fun little draft. We were right next to each other too. I was in the 1 hole, he was in the 2 hole. I don't think he was streaming though. It was like later in the day when he normally isn't streaming. See what we want to do from the 12 hole. Last time we were in the 3 hole and we went JJ, or no, the 4 hole and we went JJ. JJ went 1 this time to Rickety Cricket. Short King Summer. Had I have known that one day I would be streaming, I would have probably picked a much more cooler name for my username. I think we're going to start receiver on this one for sure, because that's what's on the board. It's just a matter of who. I know we want Nico. I'm going to go, I guess, Nico and Neighbors. I almost went BTJ. BTJ goes a little later, though, so I feel like I'll have other chances in an eliminator to get Nico and BTJ. Neighbors and Nico are a little harder to get. And Neighbors has that week 14 bye, which is nice in the eliminator. The more of your studs, especially that you can have on late bye weeks, the better for our teams, I feel like. Let me look on my phone real quick and see what I'm up to on that. I know I want a lot more of them. I'm not going to max it, but I want close to 100 of them at least before it's all said and done. Right now, if I tried to go get in one, it'll tell me. I have 124 left, so what's that, 26? This is my 26th eliminator that I've done so far. Some of them aren't finished, though. I said earlier, I got like about 4 or so, something like that, that are slow drafts going on. Just trying to pace myself. I had been drafting a lot more of the Superflex lately, just with it being new and everybody into it. And I do feel like in the Superflex, I knew when I drafted one of them, or actually a couple of them on day one, that it came out. And I could tell, with how far down the quarterbacks, it almost was like the ADP started off at whatever the normal ADP is, but it's its own ADP, so it was going to quickly change as those quarterbacks started flying up the board. So the first week or so that the Superflex, I guess it's only been about a week, but for this last week, I've been trying to draft a decent amount of Superflex when I do have time to draft, because I know that the longer the Superflex goes on, the more the ADPs would kind of correct, like I had a team that I drafted on day one that had I want to say it had Gibbs and CMC. It was from the 11 hole or something. It had Gibbs and CMC, but then I still had Jordan Love and another really good quarterback and AJ Brown, or not a really good quarterback. It was Jordan Love and somebody a little less than him. I want to say maybe Bryce as my 2 top QBs. But then I also had A.J. Brown on the team and Tyreek Hill, if I remember right. Those days are kind of gone, though, now. It's harder to get stuff like that now. So I was really trying to focus on them, though, over this last week when I had time. I'm still going to keep drafting them because you can still get good teams. What do we want to do here? I think we would like to go Kyron with one of them. And why not Cook? He's attached to a really good offense. They'll work out the contract thing. They're not going to... I don't feel like they're going to take a chance on blowing one of the probably last years, not last year's, but one of the last years of Allen in his true prime by having their star running back not there. They'll work something out. Nice little start. We went Nico, Neighbors, then we tapped running back on that turn with Kyron and Cook. No bye week issues so far. Looking pretty good, looking pretty good. What's everybody else doing? The one hole, Jefferson, Wilson, Rice. Well, that looks normal. I don't see anything crazy going on. What do you guys think about in the last draft? If you weren't here for it, if you didn't see the one hole did the Burrow double stack in the Eliminator. I feel like that's probably not good in my opinion. I wouldn't do it. I don't even like doing the Burrow double stack in regular tournaments that much, to be honest, just because it's so popular. I haven't got it yet, but I would do the Burrow double stack if when he every now and then, you can get Burrow to fall to the 6-7 turn. I think like those are going to be way better teams than the people that are grabbing Burrow at the 4-5 turn. I wouldn't mind doing one of those. $10 Superflex the day it opens. Some nice teams, almost impossible to build now. Yeah, I know. That's why I was kind of trying to focus on them too there for a little bit. I wish I had more time to draft, but I have 3 kids that still live at home, and they're all middle school. Well, one of them is going to high school next year, and other ones are middle school. And on top of all the other crap I got to get done during the day, making sure I do the daddy thing with them and get them to where they need to go and spend time with them, all that good stuff. But we get our daytime drafts in when we can. And we draft a few drafts at night, every night pretty much. Don't like that I was in a room where a guy did that plus chase. That's crazy there. The double tap Burrow plus chase in an eliminator. Woo. That will be tough. Let's see what we want to do here. I don't really want to go Burrow. I could go Ridley. What am 6 and 14. I don't want to go Burrow, and I don't really like Montgomery. Montgomery kind of scares me now with the news of the Lions center, in case you missed it. If you're drafting best ball teams on, June 3rd, and watching streams on June 3rd, then you probably didn't miss the news. But the Lions Pro Bowl center just retired. I don't think it really affects Gibbs that much just with his style of game, but that could definitely, hurt Montgomery. He's kind of their up the middle guy, and when they need to run out the clock, goal line situation, all that good stuff. I wasn't super in on him to begin with, and that makes me like him a little less. So we double tapped receiver there. Right now, I'm kind of really liking Jennings in the Eliminator, to be honest, around ADP. What do we know? We know that regardless of what they say now, there's a better chance than not that Ayuk, if he's playing week 1, starts kind of slow. A lot of guys coming off major knee injuries start kind of slow. Might still need to knock some rust off. Generally, they tend to take things slow with them on camp and stuff. There is a world where Ayuk isn't playing yet week 1. Ricky Pearsall, we don't know how bad the small tweak is. We all remember the horror story that was CMC's injury last year. I don't believe a damn thing Shanahan says about injuries. So we'll see, if Pearsall is 100% go at the start of camp, then he's probably fine. But sometimes those soft tissue things can linger and linger and linger. I think Jennings could be a really good receiver to have from the 49ers. in the Eliminator especially, where we're really trying to get out of that first week and then win a few head-to-heads to get our team rolling. Let's see where we at. It's getting a little close to me. We'll wait a couple more picks, then we'll start looking and seeing what we want to do. All right, let's hop over here. Probably should get back in the running back room. Not really a quarterback we want to go for yet. Just talked about how we don't really want Pearsall. We'd rather have Jennings. We might double tap running back here. We're just kind of skipping around with this one. 2 receivers, 2 running backs, 2 more receivers. Pretty sure this one's going to be 2 running backs. If this guy goes running back, I like Warren and I like Mason. If both of those guys stay, they'll be the picks. That'll work out beautifully. 5, 6, 7, 8 on the bye weeks. Let's do it. Like I'm building a little pattern over here. Receivers, running back, receiver, running back, receiver, running back. At some point we'll get a quarterback. One second, guys. Are you guys drafting any Cup this year? He is a guy that I'm just like staying away from. We talked about it the other day with Bowers, how I'm always kind of like, rethinking my stances on guys, especially guys that I'm either super in on or super out on. But every time I think about Cup, I'm just like, I have a hard time with how I feel about Darnold, envisioning a world where Cooper Kupp just buries us or really hurts us. Too many things would have to go right. One, Kupp would have to be healthy and still have enough with his game to be super productive. Another thing that kind of worries me about Kupp is the style of game that he plays. It was kind of a weird signing. I heard somebody else talking about this, but I kind of have been thinking it myself this year. They signed Cooper Kupp in Seattle, but he's always kind of been the most productive when he was in the slot, which is also where JSN is the most productive. So, are they really going to try to make the younger guy, JSN, convert to an outside receiver? Are they going to try to use Kupp outside? He wasn't that good at it whenever the Rams tried it. He's going to be playing outdoors in Seattle versus playing indoors basically in LA. And then there's the whole Sam Darnold aspect, which I don't think Sam Darnold's good. I think he's going to struggle a lot this year. They have a really tough schedule, at least the first 7 games leading up to the bye week. Yep, let him pay the rake with Kupp. I just, he might have some good games here and there, but He's a guy that I'm pretty sure I have 0 of right now. I guess I might have one random share somewhere, but I think it's pretty much a 0. I think what I want to do here, we're going to wait on tight end on this team. If he's there, we're going to take Higgins. We're going to take Higgins and Dak. And I don't do it much. But if we get him to come back to us, CJ would be a little bit past ADP. And we have Nico and Higgins now. So there's a decent chance we can get him to come back to us. I may do a double stack. I'd be okay with that one. I mean, Nico's the dude. I feel like having those young. So here's a little sneak peek. Tomorrow's spotlight player is actually my boy Nico, because I was looking into some of his stats or just really digging into like his numbers from last year. And like if you look at the first, let's say 5-6 games, something like that, basically right up to the point when all the other receivers started getting hurt, Nico was on a massive pace. I mean, if he would have continued what he was doing at the start of the year, all year, he would be going a lot higher than the end of the first round. With his size and speed and the way he was balling, it hurt him a lot whenever Diggs went out, and then shortly after that, Tank went out, or I forget, it might have been Tank first. I forget which one got hurt first. It happened within a few weeks of each other. And basically, once both of those guys were out, I am a Texan fan. I watch all their games. The defense just basically dared us to run because Bobby Slowick's run scheme is the most boring vanilla thing on the planet. And they just doubled Nico. They just took Nico away. Hey, what's up, Steve? Glad to see you in here. But they just took Nico away, basically, and just dared teams to, or just made us try to beat them other ways. So I feel like with Nico, Higgins, and the other rookie that they drafted, and bringing Kirk over, all of those young weapons are just going to help him because, again, like I said, if you look at what he did early in the year, like when Diggs and Tank were there and defenses had to worry about more than just Nico, he was on fire those first 5 or 6 weeks of the year for the most part. And so anyways, the point to that story was I don't do it often, but if we can get CJ to come back to us, we're going to double tap, or not double tap, we're going to double stack him with Higgins and Nico, even though it's an eliminator. Because we talked about in the last eliminator, I don't go out of my way to stack, and I generally don't double stack. But sometimes I'll do it. And we are going to run into times where we got to beat other really good teams. As long as this guy doesn't mess up our plan, that's what we'll do. Now, I'm not going to triple stack. There's no way I'll take Kirk here too. If this was a BBM, I'd be more willing to try something like that. I'm just going to let CJ ride for a minute because I want to see what I want to do with the other. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Again, we don't go out of our way to stack, but it is nice to have a little correlation still. Because as we get further and further in this eliminator, we're going to have to beat some other really good teams. So we'll put Ferguson as our first tight end with Dak. We have CJ doubled with Nico and Higgins. I'm liking it. It's feeling pretty good so far. We like the one we built last night. I mean, the first draft today too. It's weird, you know. I always try to be honest. I think it was last night's stream when, or maybe it was 2 nights ago. I think it was Sunday night. I didn't really like my drafts Sunday night. Things didn't really work out the way I wanted them to. I just felt like at the end of them, they weren't my best, and I'm not afraid to admit when they're not the best. But I like the way these are going. Let's go see what we're working with so far while we wait for it to come back. 2, 4, 5, 1. CJ and Dak at quarterback. We have Kyron, Cook, Warren, and Mason so far at running back. Beautiful 5, 6, 7, 8 on the bye weeks. Nico, Neighbors, Jennings, Ridley, Higgins at receiver. So far, Fergie is our only tight end. I like this one. You guys tell me what you think. I feel pretty good about the squad so far. I don't know yet if I want to keep this one at just CJ and Dak. We may put a third quarterback on there. We're getting to that point, though, where I don't think there's many quarterbacks that I really see much upside with. Probably left. I guess Young or Penix, but I don't really have them stacked. Young, I guess, runs a tiny bit. Oh, you know what? Yeah, we took Ridley. That's right. We can maybe watch for Ward later. We can put Ward on here as a third quarterback. I feel like, especially if you don't have like a Lamar or Allen, kind of the same talk that, you know, is going around right now about the debate over 2 versus 3 quarterback builds in more of the BBM style tournaments where, like, okay, if you're in week 15 and a quarterback goes off, probably a good chance that a lot of teams in the week 16 pod also have that same quarterback. Let me make my pick real quick and then I'll finish my thoughts. I don't see anything there we really like. They keep getting Ray Davis before I could get to him. I like me some Ray Davis. I don't think I need to go for... Oh, wow, the quarterbacks just went quick. Ward's gone. So much for adding Ward. We could go with Richardson. Hope he keeps his job for a little bit. I'm going to go Likely. I like that combination. I normally don't take all 3 of my tight ends that early. I took Freiermuth because unless the Jonnu talk is real and Jonnu gets traded to Pittsburgh, they just had one of their tight ends go down for the year with a big injury. I already was kind of in on Freiermuth before they lost one of their tight ends. So hopefully they just bring in more of a body and don't make a move for Jonnu. In which case, I feel like between Ferguson and Freiermuth, I can get some pretty consistent tight end floor weeks, if worst case. And then Likely's kind of a good little spike tight end. You know, he doesn't really have a whole lot of consistent games, but then out of the blue, he'll have a 6 for 80 and a touchdown game. So I really like that combination, and they all had different bye weeks. Where did Ward go? I feel like we just had a huge run of QBs or something there. Yep. Right before me. After we made that Ferguson pick, we were talking about waiting for Ward to come back maybe, but we had a few different QBs go. Maybe I should have took Richardson there, but I feel like the later in this tournament that you get is when it's going to be more beneficial to have a few more options at QB. And I feel like Anthony Richardson will definitely start the year. Or at least I think so. That's been my take on Richardson. That like if they have to go with Daniel Jones to start the year, especially, people are getting fired. So between the coach, GM, whatever, like y'all know how it is. The coaches say that they have the final say so, but the GM can pressure them. You know, it's kind of like Jerome Powell and the president. Not to get too political, but like it's supposed to be separate things, but the longer Jerome Powell doesn't start dropping rates, Trump's going to start, hey, buddy, you better, nudge, you better start dropping them. I don't know. If they have to start Daniel Jones from the beginning of the year, I feel like the GM's pretty much fired because he's just that big of a busted pick. So it's within everybody in their front office and even the coach to some extent, best interest to at least start with Richardson this year. I feel like he would have to be drastically worse than Daniel Jones all throughout camp for that to happen. So in the Eliminator, when I already have like a CJ and Dak, I'm not really looking for necessarily a quarterback who's going to start the year off. I was kind of wanting to take Ward if he would have came back around to me, because I felt like he gave me some chances late in the year where like maybe him and Ridley hook up and have a big game. What's my receiver room look like again? We got Nico, Neighbors, Ridley, Jennings, Higgins. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Slayton, because I talked about it in the last draft. Slayton and Wilson are two of my favorite Eliminator picks. I don't want all of my team to be Eliminator-ass picks, as they say. But here in the 180s, I mean, two guys that are number 2 for their team and kind of go overlooked and probably go a little cheaper than what they really should. In this particular team's case, it gives us a little team correlation because we also have Neighbors. That puts me at 7 receivers, and we started Nico and Neighbors, so we could probably be done there. When it comes back around to us, we'll probably look to get another running back. And I don't know what exactly we'll do with the 18th. It'll either be a running back. Let's see, what are we at? We could go, probably need 6 running backs. Kyron, Cook, Warren, Mason. We might have to just keep it at CJ and Dak. This is the type of team. I don't draft him a whole lot at all in the Eliminators. I draft him a lot in Superflex. But this is the type of team that if there's not 2 running backs there I like, I can see me throwing a Milrow on this Eliminator team for some late season help. Because I do think he's going to start. I know. The coach just came out and said, Sam Darnold is our starter. That's crazy talk. He's our starter. Yeah, we'll see how long it lasts. Vaporware says, what's up, Steve? If you're still around, you got a shout out. What do y'all think? Are y'all buying that coach talk? Sam Darnold is our starter all year. It's not even a question. We'll see. Alright, let's see what running backs we like here. It's getting to that point in the draft where there's not really a whole lot left. Somebody was just talking about putting Raheem Mostert on a team, and it got me to thinking, it's not a bad idea. I mean, if Genty was to get hurt, we know all the other guys there are not that good. Or we could go with Devin Neal. He's probably got a little bit more juice at this point. Or we could hope that Nick Chubb signs somewhere, but I'm not sure how much he has left in the tank either. I probably should go with another running back here. But we talked about how I'm willing to live and die by my takes. And Milroe is going to be that guy for me this year. If I am wrong, and Jalen Milroe does not start any games this year at all down the stretch, I think it could possibly be week 9 after their bye week. Then it's going to hurt a lot of my teams. More so in the Superflex. I don't really draft Milroe a whole lot. I haven't taken him any in like a BBM before the regular puppy close. I don't believe I took him any over there. I think this may be like the second time I took him on Eliminator. I took him on one Eliminator where, who are all the week 14 bye week quarterbacks? Or was it week 10? I don't know. I had 2 quarterbacks who had the same bye week, who were both quarterbacks I remember now that I felt pretty good about. And it was either week 10, 12, or 14. I can't remember who the quarterbacks were. But I was like, you know what? I do feel like there's a good chance Milroe will start after their bye week. I'm going to take a chance on this Eliminator team. I'm going to wait till the last round. Milroe will probably be there because nobody wants him in the Eliminator. And, I mean, it's the last round. What are we really passing up? I mean, I'm not going to take a 4th tight end. Generally, I try to save one of my tight end spots on a 3 tight end team for the last round, because other than that, Wicks actually fell to the last round. He would have been a pretty good guy to pick in the last round, but I already was good at receiver. I didn't necessarily want to take another receiver. I have 7. We started Nico, Neighbors. I'm pretty high on Jennings and Ridley. I have my floor guys in Slayton and Wilson. I thought that room was fine. Hopefully we can get through CJ's bye week. Dak will have a good week in week 6 for us. All the rest of the weeks up until basically week 10, when Dak's on a bye week, we'll have 2. By then, I think Milroe will be playing. We'll see. I could be wrong, though. It's happened before. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and end this one after that. It was fun. If you missed it, I'm going to be on Candyman's channel, the Fantasy Football Garage, Thursday at 8:30. I'll still probably get me a stream in. We'll just do one draft. It'll be a late night draft. I'm not sure the time yet. I don't know if he's wanting to just draft 1 or 2. But come check us out over there Thursday night. I'll be back tomorrow around my normal time, 9:30-ish, somewhere in there. I don't know what we'll draft tomorrow. You guys leave me some comments after the video what you want me to draft, and we'll draft those tomorrow. Have a good night. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Thanks for stopping in. If you didn't hit the like, hit the like. If you're new here, welcome, and hit the sub. We draft best ball teams every night.